Hello, everybody. Congratulations. You've made it to 2022. Now what? We're going to be talking about that tonight, and specifically about you guys watching and about the New Year's resolution stuff and how that doesn't work. And we're going to help you make a plan, and you're going to help us make a plan for Comic Book School. I've got two amazing people co-hosting with me today. We're all substitute teachers, so bear with us as we learn this. And let's bring on both Mike and Dee. Come join me, and let's talk about the future of Comic Book School. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, kids.
Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Fasolo, blah, 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 robot chicken writer, all that stuff. Very exciting.
That's the best intro you've ever had. My name is Dee Alley. I am one of the Council of the Willing here at Comic Book School. I basically usually run these things in the background, but since we're stepping in for Buddy today, I thought I'd be on camera. So hi, everybody.
Well done.
Now I want to get right into it. I know a lot of people want to make resolutions. There's a problem with a resolution. There's no plan behind it. You just say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. How? I'm going to make a comic book. How? So we're going to be asking you today to help us find the how to help you by going to both our community boards on comicbookschool.com and by going to our Facebook page if that's where you want to communicate at our actual site. We're also going to be talking, and that's Comic Book School it's a page, not a group. We have a page, not a group on Facebook. We're also going to talk about challenges and the type of challenges you want, right, Dee? Because that's a big one. But I want to start off right away because I know a lot of people are anxious about this. The anthology. We're going to give sort of an update, but we're going to put it more on you guys, and Dee will explain right now.
Okay, so as you guys know, the last 2 years, we've done a comic book anthology. It is a learning experience. It's for new comic book creators and returning comic book creators, pros, whoever wants to join. We don't have the submission guidelines like we're going to kick you out if you don't do your stuff because we're trying to learn. We're a learning place. So right now we're in the planning stages. So that means putting together the schedule, planning around holidays when we can, and trying to work out how long we want to give everybody to do each step. So for example, if you've never written a comic book before, but you want to try, this is probably the time to speak up and start saying, I want to learn how to do that. We're always looking for new people on the production team, which is learning how to plan a comic book, how to schedule stuff, how to follow up with people. Maybe you want to be an editor. Maybe you want to help with the production of the actual book. We did get the first anthology printed, so we're testing out the waters in that arena this year. So right now we're in the planning stages, and then we're hoping in the next 2 months to be announcing not only the schedule, but the due dates and all the other details. So there's more on that to come.
Now, is this for that? If just say you wanted to write it, would you be writing a whole comic, or is it just a piece, like an 8-page bit for the comic that everybody else is part of?
The anthology consists of 2 different types of stories. Mostly we try to focus on the comic book side of it. So it's the challenge is 8 pages, which is how it started, the 8-page challenge. So as a writer, you'd be required to write 8 pages and then work with an artist, colorist, letterer, as you choose, to put that comic book together. And those are the teams. So some people do it all by themselves, which as a first timer, I do not suggest. Some people have a team that they work with already. So a writer and an artist, or they get a letterer. A lot of those teams and people who come together on the forums. So that's a place where you can go to find an artist, or if you want to bring somebody else in. We do all our posting on our forums. So you can go in and review other people's stuff. Other people can come in and review your stuff so that we can make everybody's stuff better. So once that board is up and running, that'll be announced through some of our social media channels, and then it'll be off to the races.
Awesome.
Now, one of the things we wanted to talk about is the forums. And one of the things we're doing with the forums is we're going to be starting a section. It's already there, so you can go right after the show and tell us what you're looking for from Comic Book School. This is important. If we're going to be making programming and challenges, we need to know what you guys want. We want to understand what you want to learn. Who do you want us to interview? What interactions do you want to see happen on these channels? Who do you want to see? And Buddy will be doing the heavy lifting with the interviews, but we're going to be bringing back the community call. But we want to know, how do you want that community call to be? What are we going to do on the community call? It's going to be one of the things that, believe it or not, me and Dee are going to be running the community call from now on. And we want to really hear from you guys. What do you want? Do you want to see us do like a StreamYard where we pick things? And we're even doing a challenge now. Here's your first challenge of the year. comment, tell us what you want. And the comments that are the most interesting, we'll invite onto the show 2 weeks from tonight to talk about what you guys want. Because the biggest thing we're doing here, and I said at the very beginning, I know how to make a comic book. I want to share that with you. But if you're not asking me any questions, then I'm here wasting my time. And we don't want that. We want to give all of our time. And I'm happy to be here. I remember there was this person once said famously, you can invite me to a program to teach you, and I can teach you all day, or I can spend that time telling you why you should buy my books and get you to buy my books. So this is the choice you have, because given the opportunity, I won't waste my time. I'll start telling you about all my different books and how Continuum's really good. I don't want to do that when I get here. I don't want to be that creator. I want to be a fellow creator. I want to be around my peers. At times, people call me a teacher, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning from people like Mike, who are always reinventing things with the Robot Chicken. Dee's always got some great ideas. She's got a book I want to see her making into a comic book later this year. That is something and I'm impressed by all of you. And I need you to reach in and start being active. I want to hear from you. What crazy ideas do you want to do? How do you want to see things handled? What are we going to do next? And you're part of that journey, and we can't take this journey alone. So I want you to surprise me. Tell me what you want. Tell me the topics you want to hear about, and tell me the things you want us to cover from this point on. Do you guys want to add to that?
Yeah. So one of the things about Comic Book School, because it's a learning place, we want to teach you the stuff you don't know. So if your resolution this year is to make your first comic book, to write your first comic book, to join the anthology, whatever it is, take a second, think about that, roll it over in your head. Think about all the things that are going to stop you from doing it. What do you not know? What could you use help with? And put that in the forums, put that in the comments. Say, I'd love to make a comic, but I don't know what the format is. Okay, well, we got stuff to help you on format. I would love to draw a comic, but I don't know how to write one. Okay, we'll hook you up with a writer. What is it that's going to stop you from getting to where you need to go? We want to help you get through those roadblocks. So just take a minute and take that ambiguous, what's the word? Anyway, I don't know what the word is. My vocabulary's gone today. But basically take that vague notion of, I want to be a comic book creator, and think, what's your first step? What's the step that you don't know? Right? Where do you get to? I know how to write it. I know how to draw it. I know how to color it. What step don't you know? Let us know, and we'll help you with it. Mike?
That is awesome, because there are so many times that I was like, oh, I want to do this, but you don't know where to start, or even that one step that you just said, how to get there. Yeah. But it's great that they can, come to you guys and be like, oh, hey, I need to do X. And with the forum filled with so many other people who have done it before, they can easily get answers, which is a good thing.
And not just that, but you guys have a sounding board, something that I didn't have coming. I don't know about Mike, but I'll speak to myself. I didn't really have it. I had comic book school panels once a year in October that I got to meet up with people. That's why I started comicbookadvocates.com, to build a place where people could talk, and I've seen that happen. We want to build a community of creators that come to talk shop, who want to talk about the aspects of it, who want to say, I have this crazy idea, guys. What if I tried this? And you want to hear the mechanics behind it. And we want to have that supportive community. And we need you guys to step up and tell us, because I've already done it, and that's a problem. And I think Mike will understand what I'm saying. When you've already figured it out, you don't question it anymore. When you guys question something to us, you make us look at something a whole new way. We can now learn, because we have to go do the research. We have to talk to people. And a lot of credit to Buddy, who's made this for us to learn together, to rise together, to educate each other. And we need to continue that. And we want to keep passing it down and show Buddy that what he has done is important to us all. And I know there are people that we can drag from who are part of this community, from guys like Josh Dahl. We have Johnny C., who's been part of this. We have Dennis, who's going to be a bigger name that you guys are going to be seeing, is going to be helping us out more. Mike is here with us talking about Robot Chicken. We can do a whole show about that. Look, I am happy to do an interview about Robot Chicken.
Oh, boy.
I want to know what comic books Mike wants to write. That's my big question.
I've got a few in the background that I've been working on.
All right,
cool. At least trying.
Well,
I could definitely use your help in how to get all that stuff done.
Good. We'll work on that this year then.
We have this 8-page challenge, Mike.
That's
you might have heard of it.
And I just throw around a couple mentions of the awards you've won. I'm sure you'll find an article quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just do an 8-pager about my 3 Emmys.
There you go.
That's what it'll.
That'll work.
Like,
That's
make
where
them
it all starts
interact
from.
with each other. Like, hey, how are you? Like, one's evil. You know, the first one doesn't like the little one. The real
Oh God,
daddy.
we've already started. This is turning into a brainstorming session. Pull it
No,
back,
we're
pull
going to
it
get
back.
cease and desist if we're not careful. Excuse me.
Yeah, true.
The enemies. Only the Animaniacs can do that. Only the Animaniacs can do that. And Teen Titans Go. But this is what we want. We want this interaction with you guys. We want to have you, because that's one thing we really want to do with these community calls. We want to know how you feel like we'd interact the best. Do you want to go back to a Google Chat? Do you want to do a Zoom, which I guess allows a little more people? Or do you want to have something like this that's structured where you guys are asking us questions and we're doing lightning rounds with it? I know a buddy's office hours was a great success last year, and that's something we talk about bringing back. But this all comes down to you guys interacting, and we want you to interact, but we can't go for it's like screaming into the void. And I know the world is getting busier. We're at a little bit of a scary point, but everyone is saying that this is going to level off by February. And hopefully we get to recreate that new normal. And I get that your time is more precious now. That's why we try to keep these shows to a half an hour, unless it's a bigger interview with a bigger idea. We need the extra time. Today, we're going to aim for 30 minutes. That's why I'm talking a little faster than I normally do, because we want you guys to feel like you're part of something. So with that in mind, you have to answer this call, because if you don't answer this call, what are we doing here? You know, like, we can just start talking about the 8-page challenge every week. We don't need community calls. I disagree. I think every one of you has something to say, and I want to hear it. I want to see you guys in the chat rooms talking about it, giving us ideas. Let us explore something we never thought about. Like, no one ever talks about why people choose the font they do in comic books. What is the different spacing between the fonts? There's no conversation.
Listen, between the typography classes that I had to take and the graphic design degree I had to get in order to get into an animation school, I could talk hours and hours and hours on fonts and types and things in comic books. So don't get me started on that one. But to that point, segue, we're going to have a lot of new guests this year. Some of the guests that we're going to have on the live stream are going to be invited specifically because of their expertise in areas around our anthology steps. So we have, I think, 12 to 14 steps in the anthology. It's not a 12-step program, so don't worry. You can still drink on this program. It's perfectly fine with us as long as you're not on any other 12-step programs. So we're going to have people come on while we're doing the planning and scheduling and talk about planning and scheduling. We're going to have people come on during the writing phase and talk about writing. That's Buddy's big thing. But we're also going to have people come on during the inking phase who are good at inking, who are professional inkers, not just DC and Marvel, but also indie guys. We're going to be looking for people who not only do bound comic books that are printed. We're going to look at digital artists. We're going to look at manga artists. We're going to look at comic strips and webtoons and all sorts of different people this year. So if there's a person that you look up to, if there's a person that you have heard of or know or want to learn more from that you think our community could benefit from, that's another thing. Jump in the forums, jump on our social channels. Let us know who you want to talk to, who you want to see. So that way, maybe, you know, we can spread our community net a little wider and get some people that you're interested in seeing.
Absolutely. And do you know why with POT there isn't a 12-step program, Dee?
No, why?
I'm forgetting after step 2. But I am liking the interaction we're having in the chat. So we're not going to forget anyone. We're going to leave the last 10 minutes to try to get through as many comments as we have. One of the final things we wanted to talk about, it's not just about bringing you guests. It's not just about inviting you to be part of this. It's not just about an 8-page challenge, but it's about helping everyone level up. That's why I said at the beginning of this, don't make resolutions, make plans, write down, and Dee can be a person who helps you with the plan. Mike can tell you the experiences he had. I can tell you how I screwed up so many different ways and now know better. I'm the old guy with the scars that you want to listen to so you don't get the same scars. So
learning from your mistakes is such a nice way to put it, Rob, than scars.
They hear mistakes and they think they're not painful. Scars let them know.
You need the scars.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Yeah. When they see the scars, they're like, wait, this guy knows what he's talking about.
He's been down that road and it was not fun.
He looks like he's been beat up by
life. He survived.
So, and finally, one of the things that we do want to talk about is the fact that this takes effort from everyone involved. And last year we talked a lot about taking it serious. And when you're committed to this, commit to it. We want to stress that doesn't mean that we don't expect people to make mistakes. As a matter of fact, we want you to make mistakes while we're around so we can help you with those mistakes. It's not about not making mistakes like Dee said. It's about being honest with us, telling us what's going on. If we have an 8-page challenge and you say, listen, this, and that happened in my life, I don't think I can make it. How can I still be part of it? We can maybe put you in a different position. We can help you meet. If you tell us what's going on, not a month before deadline, but weeks and months ahead of deadlines, because the deadline will always try to be New York Comic Con. That's always going to be the staple because that's near Buddy's home. Until they make something in Buddy's backyard that's a Comic Con, it'll more than likely be.
Don't give him any ideas, Rob. Don't give him any ideas.
I want to go to BuddyCon.
I would definitely go to BuddyCon. That would definitely be fun.
Writing that down.
I keep hearing he's had all this construction done. I'm hoping it's for BuddyCon. I'm waiting for it. I want to put the Scots outside, but no, seriously, we want you guys, because this is a creative endeavor, and creativity happens best when we're throwing ideas behind each other. And we want you to really interact with us and give us what's special about comic book school, because we have seen so many people rise up. We've also seen some people struggle. And that's why we show up. It's the people, again, going back to it. I can talk about all my comics. Dee can tell you all about all the amazing things, if I can get my finger work to right, all the amazing things she can do. Mike can talk to us about Robot Chicken, or we can talk about what you want to talk about. And, we're going to have the Buddy interviews, which are amazing. He's going to bring us the education there. But sometimes those interviews are so fast. I know some people might want to dial into a certain spot. Let's review it. So if you're interacting and watching all those interviews and you bring us a question, and if you give it to us earlier on a forum, especially, this is so important. The sooner you give us the question, the more we can all talk about it. The more we can, I can go to Mike and go, hey, Mike, can you go look up your episode guides and see if this or this ever happened in there? Because we're going to be talking about it next week. And he could probably go, yeah, as a matter of fact, when we were talking about this, and he's ready, as opposed to me just being, hey, Mike, remember that time 5 years ago?
Randomly in an episode that you co-wrote with somebody you don't remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I barely remember anything that I write anymore.
And that is actually very true, because the more you write, and I know this, when I first started writing, I could tell you the script out of the top of my head. I've written so many things and have so many things being written now that I do refer back to the things I'm writing now to make sure I'm doing, because I have a horrible habit. I'll rewrite it, reword it, do the whole thing again. And sometimes it's better, I'll be honest. Like that third time is sometimes really the charm. That's the one thing. I'm going to be moving away from lettering because of a neck injury, and I keep hurting myself every time I letter. But I will be the letterer's nightmare, because I'll be involved in the steps and reading it and go, no, we have to change the lettering. This will work. This line will work better. I might even have to just draw over the
Do it all again.
No,
We're just gonna have to be like, hey, is Rob really right on this? Did you see the scar? Did
yeah,
you see?
look at the scars.
He knows.
Scars.
Trust
I
him, he
know.
knows.
You don't get this ugly without a lot of abuse from life. Just saying.
Terrible.
Just saying.
All right. So that actually segues into another thing that we're going to have a little bit more of this year, especially on this channel. We all know that Buddy has been doing this for a while. Buddy's got a lot of contacts in the comic book industry, and he's got archival footage. He has got, I'm not going to say how much, but let's just say it's a lot. Because I've seen the tapes. He's downloaded a lot of old archival stuff. And so we're going to be doing clips on this show, archival clips. I think some of them are from a show that he did called Comic Vision. But some of them are just interviews. See, Mike knows.
Yes, Comics Vision.
That's old school. So, but a lot of them are just interviews that he had done with people at cons. I mean, the man's met Stanley, the man's interviewed, Kubrick. He's interviewed 100 people 100 times. And so as much as we can, we're going to be bringing you some of that content, some of that old content. Some of it might not have aged well. Who knows? We'll find out. And we can discuss how things have changed over time and, how we're going to move forward in this industry and with all the new creators. So there's a lot of stuff coming up both on this channel and on the YouTube channel as well. So,
and some of these conversations we want to have in our forums, so they're a little more private. We don't necessarily, for those of you who are fans, it's not that we don't want you to see some of those conversations. It's more so the creators like to talk when other creators are around, so they feel like they can express something and work something out. And that's what's good about networking, is we can actually talk about things, because sometimes someone will see something and they don't understand it. And it takes the other person in the room who does understand it to explain it to them. We want to have that open communication in a group that actually allows that. So we don't want anyone who is joining us to bring in just this is it or the highway. Those mentalities never work in a community. Bring in your experiences, come respectfully, share your stories. You'd be amazed when we actually listen to each other and we meet in the middle, what amazing things we can accomplish.
Now, are you going to do all this stuff just in the like the group forums, or are you going to have Zoom meetings and?
Well,
like,
when we get into this thing,
It's open. A lot of this stuff is based in the forums. Like that's our home base, so to speak. So the discussions and things like that will happen in our forums. If you need updated news, we have a newsletter that comes out monthly. Buddy is on it. Like I've got no analogies today. I've just lost it. I should have had less coffee. Anyway, but Buddy's on it. So yeah, we've got a newsletter. We've got the forums. We are going to be pumping up some of our social channels. We did a couple challenges, I know, in 2019 and 2020, just as things started to shut down. And I'm going to push for more of that, so people will be able to see us interacting on the social channels. I'm pretty sure we're at Comic Book School on probably 7 of like the 10 social channels I can list. So if you see at Comic Book School or at Comic Book School by Buddy Scalera anywhere, that's us. And feel free to interact with us there too. But most of the stuff that we have is going to be on the forums, because that's a place that we own, that we know it's going to be. And so we can put stuff there and know concretely that it's going to be there until we decide to take it down. And so that would be the place I would say to go first, to kind of join in and join up and see what we're doing. Obviously, you can sign up for the newsletter as well. That's going to have stuff sent to you as opposed to you going out to get it. And then, follow us on the social channels. We'll be all over the place. So.
And we're going to talk about one challenge and get right into the questions, because we're running a little longer.
Okay.
But Buddy, I don't know if you saw this yet, Dave, but Buddy's here. First off, thank you, Buddy.
There he goes.
Even when he's off, he's here with us. He says, I think we will go back to
just can't stay away.
our community meetings so everyone can talk. And that's going to be a place where it won't be broadcast. It'll be a private conversation between creators. And that's the trust right there. That's having a community meeting where everyone can be themselves. And of course, we want to be respectful when those community meetings. Keep it to the business of comics. Keep it to the topics on hand, so everyone gets an opportunity. We don't want to be talking about things between each other that can be done in a private conversation. We want to be talking about community stuff, because that's one of the most important things. We all want to feel part of something. No inside jokes, nothing like that. A real meeting place where everyone feels like they're accomplishing something. And then the other thing, right before we go to the questions, the TikTok challenge. So we're going to start on TikTok. I'm gonna be the one spearheading this and seeing it and checking for it. I want you guys to show your comic books off. The ones you've created, have been part of, or even if you have an idea, give a pitch. And I know one of the comments is talking about pitch, and I absolutely will love to do a pitch packet. And I think Mike being on that show would be amazing. I know, Mike, you've done pitches before, right?
Oh, yes.
In Hollywood. Yes. And I think that's so important, because some people are horrible at pitches. But the challenge is show off your work right now, starting in 2022. Show what has already come. And then we're going to circle back to this TikTok challenge in the end of the year. And then you're going to show us what you've created since that video. You will stitch your own video and update it in that moment. So this is going to be a year-long process, even though you'll just have to do 2 videos. So make sure you actually bookmark your TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, I don't know what's wrong with you. We can get you therapy and help. We also want to give a shout out.
All catching up, Rob. We're all catching up, man.
All right. We're going to give a shout out to Gamal Hennessy, who does an amazing job over at the consulting of business of comic books. He has a great series. If you guys are not looking for the 101, but really dialing down to like the class 501 and really want to know about legal stuff that none of us are qualified to talk about, and we shouldn't even try to talk about on a live thing, that's the class you want to go to. Reach out to us on the forums. We'll tell you. As a matter of fact, we'll probably have to put one up in the next couple of days to show you guys how to get to Gamal's class. I am part of that. It is amazing. I have been going back to the archival footage. You get the book with it, the live Q&As that we've been part of. And me and Dee have been there for a lot of them. They've been amazing. Again, a community experience where everyone is talking. And I mean, I learned about something, and what's the name of it? the thing. It was like API.
What's the name of it? You wrote it down.
The
What's the
thing
name
with
of
the
it,
thing.
Rob? Come
I
on.
have it written down over there. Don't look for the lights on. It's like API or
Off
something.
screen. I can't find it.
Oh,
It's written down. Dean knows what I'm talking about.
yes, I do.
Don't pick on the dyslexic. So I learn things every day thanks to every involvement I have with and you in the community will have something to teach us all. So we want you to be part of it. Do you want to read off some of the questions?
Yeah, let's start at the top. Hope my battery holds out because my plug is in the other room. Okay, so Buddy's here with us. He says, yay, 2022. Kevin says, hi. He also says he just posted an idea on the forum. So you can go check out Kevin's idea at the forums. That's create.comicbookschool.com. Let's see. Miriam wants the Emmy stories. So
Oh boy.
get on it, Mike.
I'll write them down.
All right. And then let's see. Glenn had a comment about the American Godzilla movies. I think that was talking about when the Emmys, one of them was evil. So
They're all evil if you really want to know.
oh, fair enough. Okay. Rolling right along. Let's see. Miriam's got a couple of comments here. We should have done these as we went because I'm not sure what's going on. She said we had good interaction when we had Google Meets with members from the message boards. And then I think we went back to Buddy's comment about having more community meetings where everyone can talk. And then...
and we do think a voice is very important, guys. That's why we're bringing back the community meetings, because we want to give you guys that opportunity to be heard.
And I did want to bring this one up. Miriam, we are going to work on that this month and next month. So definitely catch me offline because I was just talking to Buddy about this today. So we're going to try and have kind of a, welcome new members, kind of show them around kind of thing for the forums. Because I think that you're right. That would really help. And I know you've mentioned that before. Okay. Kevin said he would like something about pitching comics. So we'll definitely put that on the list. Miriam agreed. I'm literally just running through all of them. And then Miriam says, I saw a comment about adding an area for good news, like what's happening to you, announcing what you have going on so we can support each other as a community. I fully support that. I think that would be great in the forums and also in some of the social channels.
Miriam, you can make that. You could literally make it on, remember, you guys have access to the main forum. Feel free to put something positive like that because I'll be in there and I'll encourage people. Good news is always good to hear, especially after the last couple of years we've been.
Yeah. All right. And then just going to flip through these really quick. We have Marshall, who I think is new. He walked in. He sat down. Now he's watching. And Buddy's really glad you found a seat. He also likes Miriam's idea. And then Phil also showed up. So we'll give him 2 cents. So if anybody else has any other questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat right now. We're going to kind of wind it down. And I'm going to do something that Buddy has probably never thought I would do, but I'm going to use one of his graphics, which I'm going to tell you right now. I hate these graphics. I really, really do. But
it's there. It's easy.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
That was the
well
wrong
done,
one.
Aaron. Push the wrong button. I'm channeling Buddy now. We're going to do our check this out. So, yeah, how am I doing, Mike? You
Good.
feeling well?
Very good. You got it just like Buddy. You got to find that right button.
All right, so we're going to start with me since I screwed up the button already. I got my Painkiller Jane from my Kickstarter submission just this past week. I think it was in my mailbox for a while, but I was traveling for the holidays. And we had Jimmy Palmiotti on the show. I can't even remember now. My brain is so addled, but we met him briefly and this is his comic and I am so excited to read it. I literally opened it this morning. I haven't read it yet. So that's my check it out this week. Mike, you're up next.
I found this at the last minute. It's not a comic book, but it is a very interesting book. It's The Psychic Life of Abraham Lincoln.
Interesting.
It's apparently he was like deep into the spiritual kind of movement at the time. And he apparently had a dream that he would die, and he went to some psychic and they told him that, he would be president, this, that. So he had a lot of psychic stuff throughout his life. It's a very interesting book.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Lincoln's wife actually then would spend years trying to summon him
Yes, she
after
was.
his death.
Yeah, after his death, she because I think she also had a feeling about it, and after that, then she started going to psychics and trying to communicate with him.
All right, kids, here we go. Check this out. If you're a fan of the King, this is a comic for you. What if the King was still alive and avenged? This is awesome. Brought to us by Motown, Mayan Comics Group. Excuse the dyslexic. This is brought to us by the amazing creative team of just one person. John Pinto did it all. Did the entire book. How rare can you actually see that? He lettered it. He did everything. He's an amazing creator down here in Florida. I'm going to give you some look at the art there.
Nice.
Obviously, he likes Elvis. I mean, Elvis was a little before my time. I believe he was already in the bathroom when I was born. And but it's definitely an interesting book. It got me. It's got some clever pages. And one of the things I want to give him a shout out to, because I thought it was amazing, is that this is the first issue. So clearly there would be no fan mail. He went out and made his own fan mail section.
That's what you got to do sometimes.
And I sat there and read every fan mail. And it was amazing. It reminded me of the old Marvel things where sometimes Stan would put in some spicy stuff. And it was like, Stan didn't run from the controversy. And that's what we want. We want you guys to cause controversy. We want you guys to challenge the notion. We want you guys to talk to us about what you want, because this is your community and this is your time. We're just here to help you on your journey. Anything else for you guys to say?
I think you said it all.
I hope you guys had a happy holidays, and I hope you had a great New Year's, and I'm looking forward to everything we're going to do together in 2022.
All right, kids, go out and make your vision board. D, run those credits.